Hello everyone, and welcome to The Man Behind the Curtain. I'm Randy Young, the guy in the red shoes, and I've been in the video production business my entire career, and it's taken me around the world a few times. But more importantly, I've had the opportunity to work with some of the most creative people in television, and boy do they have stories to tell about the business and the people who make it happen. We've always been told, ignore the man behind the curtain, but you can talk to me. Okay, let's get started. I'm sitting here backstage on the show I'm working on with two very good engineers, owner-operators of a business. We're going to talk about that a bit. And we're in the midst of their excellent equipment. It's Michael Bird and David Cleaves. Hi, guys.
Hey,
howdy.
How's it going?
It's going just fine. How's this show going?
I think it's going great, actually.
Nothing crashed and burned? And
not yet.
Everything's working wonderful?
Yeah, not yet.
Knock on some wood.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the first things I like to ask everybody is how they sort of got started in the business. Let's start with you, Mike.
Family. My family owns a company called TextPrompt.
The infamous Bird family, of which Bethel has been featured on this very podcast.
She has. I actually watched it. It was great. I lived with them. Grew up in the industry. Producers come over for dinner, wrap parties, things like that. So I knew everybody and ended up going to work for a company called Alfred Media where I met
this guy.
Yeah, and so, progressed from that, and we decided to kind of, one day, we did lighting, grip, and film, and then one day we thought, hey, what would be really cool is to go into debt and start a company together.
Yeah.
Is that really what he said, Dave?
More or less, yeah. Pretty much.
It's close.
And you've accomplished the debt part, I'll bet.
Oh, yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Are you talking about kids or the business?
Yeah.
Well, either one of them,
Right.
run you broke, that's for sure.
True.
So your history is similar?
Well, I was in California shooting television commercials, doing assistant director work and, showrunner type stuff, out there. And I came back to Dallas and I ran into an old friend of mine who said, hey, before you move back to California, if you want to make some extra money, I've got a warehouse you can come work in. And I thought, perfect, warehouse. And so that warehouse was all for media, and I started learning a little bit about what we did there and what, I really got into projection and video engineering. And I thought, hey, this is pretty cool. Maybe this is the thing that I should be doing. And then I met him.
Tomfoolery.
Yeah, and we spent 5 years there at Alfred Media together, just having a good time and learning the business and trying to master the craft.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And then for some reason you decided to start your own business.
Yeah, well, that's a really long story that Mike could probably tell better, but
I'll try to do the quick version. We worked
the condensed version.
A lighting and grip house, and we were contacted by people to do a poker tournament that was about 6 months long. And the owner of our business that we worked for didn't want to have anything to do with it.
Right.
So Dave and I are like, well, hey, let's figure this out. I knew the guys that built all the tables for World Series of Poker. This was before GoPros or anything recorded to SD cards, but I found these cameras that hooked up to bows, so you could bow hunt, and they recorded SD cards. Long story short, we outfitted a table with that, built it.
Shooting the cards.
Yeah, maxed out our credit cards, short focused the lens, built custom cables to run to a truck. Dave came up with the idea of being able to implement time code into these so you could do multi-track recordings. We came up with a program in Final Cut where you could actually use an audio track but also sync it with time code, and voila. That's kind of how we started everything.
Yeah. The owner of that company did not want to, he was like, these people need to pay us up front or we're not doing it. And we looked at each other and we're like, we're going to make like $60,000 here.
Let's do it.
I'm quitting. And we both quit and went and did it.
We didn't know any better.
And that's what we started doing at first, was box rental stuff, renting lighting, grip.
Right.
And then the 5D camera came out, and I thought, we're in big trouble because nobody's going to want to rent like a Sony F900 HD camera when they can go buy one for $1,000.
Sure.
And so having the corporate AV background, we just kind of transitioned back to doing that, and it was just a natural fit for us.
A lot of multicam.
Yeah, so is that the origin of the name 1080 Media too?
Yes and no.
Yeah, kind of.
It just sounded kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like 316 Media or 1080 Media. He and I both skated way back in the day. We thought that was cool. And, you know, lines of resolution, people always ask me, and I'm like, yes and no, not really. It just 1080. We just thought that sounded cool. Who's going to be there? 1080. So we thought that was cool.
Well, it works.
I don't know.
All right, so you worked for companies. You probably all did some freelance work along the way somewhere.
Yeah.
Now you run a company. What's the difference? What's the biggest challenge you face running your companies?
Well, I mean, the show for us doesn't end. It doesn't start at load-in and it doesn't end at the strike. It starts way before that, doing all the pre-production work, assembling the crews and things like that. And then when everybody else leaves during strike, we go back into trying to figure out how to bill a job, make sure everything gets returned back, make sure the inventory of ours gets, you know, QC'd and checked out as it comes back.
That has to be all the stuff, the pieces and parts.
Yeah,
Well,
everything.
that's the easier part.
Really?
I think maybe the personalities might be the harder part, because you got to crew the right way for certain people, because every crew doesn't work the right way for every show.
Right.
So you also have to have that balance. And, you know, I think we're both pretty good at that. We're both friendly guys, and we have a lot of fantastic freelancers and full-time people that we really rely on. You know, we wouldn't be here without the freelancers that we're lucky enough to work with. And I guess you and I both kind of grew up in the industry knowing that the freelancer, everything is built off the back of the freelancer on this.
Yeah, you can get equipment anywhere.
Yep.
Like having the right guys engineering your show, designing it, and that's kind of where I think to me the magic happens for what we do.
Well, from my position, yes, you can get equipment anywhere, but it's the quality of the equipment, and it's the back room of maintaining the equipment and knowing that something works when you get it on site. That's where I see the value of a 1080 media or any of your competition out there. And if they can't service it, if they can't maintain it, if they can't make it work when it shows up, they're useless.
Right.
It's true.
Of all the shows I've done with you guys, I've never had a major equipment malfunction.
Knock on wood again. Well, I mean, that's true. You know, when we started the business and it was just Mike and I, we spent a lot of time together. Anytime something would come out, we would go through everything down to the cable and make sure everything worked, pack it up, get ready for the next time. And as we started to expand, we started adding people to our shop that do just that. I mean, their job is to check the equipment in, make sure everything comes back, and then make sure the integrity of it is right to go out and turn around and be ready for the next show.
We don't sleep very much.
Well, not with that kind of work, I wouldn't.
No.
But tell me about updating and the changes of equipment. I mean, every time I've had lots of opportunities to go into business with people and own equipment, and I've always turned it down because I don't know how you stay up with it, how you stay current.
It's difficult, and I think we kind of have a formula that we've developed over time, which is how much something costs, how long we think that's going to be in vogue and usable, how much we can rent it out for, how quickly it takes to get the money to come back to where you're actually earning money for what you bring out there. And so it's just kind of, you know, you'd be surprised at the things that make you a lot of money, and then surprised that we have some very expensive things that are like boat anchors for us
that you just have to have.
That we have to have, like long lenses for cameras.
Yeah,
I mean, there's very expensive lens, but it takes forever to get your money back on it. You know?
Yeah, but they don't change.
Those don't, right? But switching
that's
does.
a pretty stable technology.
Yeah.
The little black boxes, the things that the E2 changes or the switcher changes or even the LED changes. My God, the amount of LED that you've got hanging out there to keep up with that. And everybody always wants the smaller, tighter version of it.
Right.
At the best price.
Yeah, we just have to be careful, and you want to make sure you're not at the bleeding edge of the technology, but you're not too far behind the curve either, and you just have to be at just the apex of it, so that you're not buying stuff that maybe is like when 3D was the big craze, that lasted for maybe 8-10 months, and then nobody wanted anything to do with it, and we didn't invest anything in 3D. So,
when again, the freelancers also, we rely heavily on people that are like, oh my gosh, I just work with this piece of gear, it made my life so easy, and the systems that Dave comes up with for freelancers that come packages, and if it's like so easy to work with, again, on the back of the freelancer, where their voice comes out and talks about, oh my gosh, 1080, their E2 package, their pixel hue package, their whatever package. So everything's easy to find, everything's easy to use, everything is there.
It's designed well.
Yes,
is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and it helps that we're out in the field using the equipment and
not sitting in an office trying to balance spreadsheets.
Yeah, so I know, like when I come out here and fire up the pixel hue, I need these certain things to always be with me, and so we try to design packages like that, and then I'll take feedback from the other engineers that say, hey, it'd be great if you added this to your package, and we just, mix it all together and make sure we got what people want.
Talk to me about work-life balance, being managers now, owners, operators.
Yep.
How's that working for you?
What balance?
I'm lucky. My wife's in the industry.
Okay.
She's teleprompter operator, Danny, of course.
Yeah.
She's awesome. But still, there's a household.
Yeah.
Still there's kids, there's milestones, there's things like that you don't want to miss. I think Dave and I have done for as busy and involved as we are, we've done a really good job staying involved and busy at home.
I don't know if my wife would agree with that.
Well, I personally think we have, but
Missed a lot of birthdays, a lot of
birthdays.
But
But you have employees that you have to manage that for as well.
Yeah, we have 11 employees at our shop, and
going on 12.
We have to make sure that you're not grinding them up too much. Take care of them when you can. And
I mean, it's got to be tough to do when you're on the road operating as much as
we have a great team that we work work together. So
our work family in the office is pretty incredible.
Very special.
We're very close. I mean, like, we know all the kids, the wives, the husbands, everybody.
Well, you make an effort to do that. That's the important part.
Sure.
It's cool. They're cool people.
As the technology for creation of images, live images changed, cameras. You operate Sony's now, right?
Yeah. We're a Sony house.
And
Always
I was
Sony.
sitting over the other morning when everything got set up, and I was just amazed at how good those cameras looked.
Yeah.
That's why we do it.
Yeah, is that changing?
I don't know. I mean, right now the cameras we have are 4K capable cameras.
Yep.
We generally, I would say 95% of the time they're run in 1080p mode, but it's going to be the next ask. That's going to when people start asking us for it, we're going to be ready for it because we already have the cameras that do it. So
does 4K make a difference to the audience? The delivery of it to a LED. I mean, the LED is only capable of doing so much with every LED pixel out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's debatable. I think that most of the people are hopefully absorbing the content that the presenters are talking about.
Right.
But for us, we know we can see it, and we have some discerning clients like the one that we're working with right now who they're pretty sharp on technology and making sure the image quality is the best it can possibly be, and is also representing their brand colors accurately and things like that. So
100%.
I wouldn't be surprised if over the next year or two that the ask for more UHD stuff or 4K stuff it'll probably be increasing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely with the agencies.
And it is color. And I know you guys, and on this show particular, take particular care, very distinct care of color management.
Oh, absolutely. Well, this particular client for a long time didn't want LED because they did not think that they could hit their brand colors precisely. Yep. And we work with some great people that are colorists that have the ability to go in and do like a 32-point color sampling and make sure that these tiles are exactly representing their brand colors. And then we kind of close the circle by making sure that the cameras are balanced properly so that it all looks great together, and so the cameras look good by themselves, the records look good, and then when you're shooting the set, that when you see the set in the camera, that it's not blue looking or strange looking. It all matches, and it's really great.
I'd like to incorporate the video screens with all of my shoot, and the color temperature of the screen, the color temperature of the light, and how it ends up in the finished product for years was always different.
Right.
And it's so much easier to balance that.
And that's why, like I was saying earlier, the freelancers that we bring in that we're lucky enough to work with are so incredibly good at their job that the teams that we get to work with are just mind-blowing.
Okay.
So it's like that's why everything looks as good as it does.
Well, yeah.
We talked about management, running the companies, and the good parts of it. What's the bad parts of it? What are the challenges of running your company?
Well, I mean, you're the buck stops with us, right?
Yeah.
And if it's not good, and one of our clients has an issue with it, I mean, we take it very personally and take it very seriously. So it's a good and bad thing. I mean, you're ultimately responsible for this looking either great or not so great, and I think we're both probably petrified of not looking great.
Right.
So it really drives you to make sure that everything is great. But it's, we have to deal with a lot of egos, a lot of logistics, a lot of just variables that are sometimes just not in your control that are really hard to kind of struggle against. And so that's the difficult part, I think.
And being as close as we are to a lot of our clients, the fear of disappointment is so high. You develop these big time relationships with these people that trust you.
Sure.
It's a trust thing, and it's, I always joke with Dave that I'm the worst sales guy ever because I'm not motivated by money. I want everybody to be happy,
right.
And the worst thing that can ever happen is if one of our clients is not happy with something we've done, and that is just a huge disappointment.
Down the road too.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
If you disappoint somebody, that doesn't stay there.
No, everybody here hears about it at some point.
And like you just mentioned, you're not the world's greatest sales guy. How do you market your company?
It's a lot of word of mouth.
Do you have a full-time sales representative that manages for you?
It's a hat.
We have a fledgling social media team.
Right.
Like, by fledgling, I mean, we just kind of started doing this. I mean, our best thing has always been this over here. Like, if we can do an incredible looking show and people start talking about it, those people go and tell everybody, oh, I just worked with 1080 Media and the screens were amazing looking. And so, our freelancers are some of our best advertisement, our happy clients. That's really where it happens. Yep. You can put advertisements up saying you're an AV guy, and then people want to call you and say, hey, can you bring me 20 flip charts? And there's nothing wrong with flip charts, but that is not really what we do. Like,
right.
we're kind of a boutique house. We try to do very high end, very specific things. We're not great at a bunch of little doing breakouts or things like that, but we are good at putting screens up that look really good.
Yeah.
And really video centric for that matter.
Well, I remember the first time I met you guys, and Dave Brumbuck brought you in.
Correct.
And I was blown away by the quality and of the gear and the people and the delivery method. There was never any question of it working right.
Well, that's good. That's what we strive for, really.
I always say that the best thing about us is Dave and I make the decisions. And it's not money based. It's the right thing to do. If we need something, we get it. If you need it, it needs to be here, it's going to be here.
Right.
And it's not, well, let me call somebody and see if it's okay. Do I need to call my boss and his boss, and then he can call his boss?
Is this going to blow the profit margin here? And the answer for us is always, whatever it takes to do it the very best we can do it, and to satisfy the most people we can satisfy. That's what we do.
Right.
I mean, that's just simple. And so being out here all the time really helps stay in touch with that. Like I said, instead of us sitting in an office, looking at the internet or whatever, we're out here. We see what works, we see what doesn't, and we just try to do what works. So.
And if you need something else, you find a way to make it happen with something else.
Correct.
Yeah, that's kind of our thing. It's like, it's going to be great, and we make the show happen. We just make it happen.
That's such a divergent attitude from the other facilities companies, at least that I run into. It's an incredibly divergent attitude. Where they're a giant Borg of a company that, like you said, they have to call and get permission to get a new box in here.
I need a 55-inch monitor. How many people do I have to call to get it delivered?
Well, we've been doing this for 18 years together now, and I would think we probably could have made some.
18 years old?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
We probably could have made some decisions back in the day that would have made us a 40 or 50 person company with a different inventory, but we really just tried to stay dedicated to, just being the very best we can be, have the best product, have the nicest equipment, packages sent out right, and not worried about, we're going to lose $1,000 because we had to do this or we had to do that. The answer is just make this right, and if it's right, people keep using you.
It works.
But if we come out and give people bad attitudes or give them crappy gear, like, nobody wants to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that from an operator standpoint. And when I'm sitting in my chair here, I'm an operator. I'm not the business owner, and I look at things through that lens, and we take it back and talk about it and go, hey, this was good, this wasn't good. what do we need to do to make this even better?
Great perspective.
You would be shocked on how many clients we've gained because a big house, corporate-owned house, has just ridden someone into the ground for 200 and something days, and someone brings back a file. We have a new video, and the eye roll.
Yes.
And you don't know who that person is that you're rolling your eyes at or sighing to.
Sure.
Then all of a sudden they're like, no, and it's
that's
take
change
care of
management.
people.
It's personnel management. It's
Right.
Yep.
And if you're working with the right equipment and it's performing for you,
Yep.
the personnel doing that has a whole different performance attitude.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
All right, so we all have stories.
Oh no, stories. Okay.
I should probably just take my mic off and let him talk.
No, you don't want to hear from me.
We've all had ways that we've pulled a show out of a fire, delivered it well when things didn't go well. What's your favorite one?
I wouldn't call it favorite. It's the one that sticks out. Dave and I are in the midst of a tour, one of our first ever big tours. It started in Orlando. I remember the second one overlapped in Atlanta. So Dave was in Orlando and I went to Atlanta, and it was wired everything up, got it going. Everything was great by pure grace. Everything was, no time. Dave flies in red eye, hops in his chair. I know how he likes things set up.
Yeah.
So I had to try to get it as close as I could.
Sure.
And halfway through the show, we had a power surge that blew out our switcher.
Ooh, whoops.
And this was our biggest client at that point in time, and we were, we had little kids, and this is what we do, and we're like, oh my gosh. And Dave and I rewired. They decided to take a break because the screens went dark. You don't ever want to see that, but a power surge hit, smoked everything. And we pulled a couple of Image Pros out and rewired the whole system in a 15-minute break and got it up and running. Not exactly the way we would want it, but we got it going.
You got the show working.
And the CEO walked up to us afterwards. He goes, boys, what's wrong with you? You look like somebody died.
Yeah.
And we were like, but that happened. I can't believe that happened. He goes, it wasn't your fault. Power. You have nothing. It's not whatever. Active whatever. And he said everybody loved it. It had a 99% approval rating. It was one of the highest approved shows we've ever done.
Oh yeah, he said something that stuck with us at that point. He said, it's not that a mistake has happened or a problem has happened, it's how you recover from it and how you fix the problem and carry on. And he goes, in my mind, you guys succeeded wildly because you took a sinking ship and fixed it and made the show continue to go
Great
on.
man. The greatest CEO, one of the greatest CEOs we ever worked with.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I should mention his name, but he was fantastic. Love that guy.
But it kind of gave us kind of an ethos to stick with where it's like everything is fine when everything is good, and you know what that's like. You're backstage and everything's great, but when things start getting shaky, it's how you respond. And if you like freak out and flip tables over and have a pout about it, that's not productive. You just got to get to the point.
It doesn't get you anywhere.
You just got to try to solve the problem and try not to let it multiply. And pretty soon the next guy is shaky and everybody's uneasy. And so it's how you recover from the mistakes or the little problems or the things that are just totally out of your control. That's kind of what makes us, I think, what makes us special at what we do is that we look for those things and we thrive on that kind of stuff. It's fine when it's good, but like if this goes down, we already have thought of ways to bypass things and get things going, and that's a big deal. So
where do you want 1080 Media to go? You run the business, you own the business, you have to have a future plan and thoughts. You've got to think 5-10 years down the road. Maybe just a year down the road.
A year. Well, 5-10. I mean, Dave and I have always said we don't want to be the biggest, we want to be the best.
All right.
And early on, we had people question us and laughed at us when we said that we could compete with just about anybody. We go toe to toe with anybody. And they made fun of us, and I guess that always stuck with us.
I think you've proven wrong.
And it just in 5 years, I'd like for us to continue to keep evolving as one of the best customer service driven companies. Obviously we're gonna grow, we have to, it's gonna happen. But again, that's kind of a neat thing to wonder about, because the future is so weird, because even with gear, like you were saying earlier, what is the gear gonna be like? What is it gonna do? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. So that's my take. I'm not really sure. Dave has, his forecasting is better than mine.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think our plan really is just kind of to continue on the trajectory we're on, try not to force growth, but also not to be afraid of growing a little bit too, because we originally thought that this was going to be this tight-knit little thing, and gradually as we add more people and kind of get their energy and input into what we do, it's really kind of become something special. And it's not just him, it's not just me. Everybody that works with us plays a little part in kind of adding to the spice of what we do. And I don't want to force the growth, but we want to continue to grow and continue to be known for putting out great product and also being pleasant to be around. Like, nobody wants the grouchy truck engineer. Nobody wants any of that stuff. People want to be comfortable with the people they work with and secure and feel good about it. And we just want to keep doing that. I mean,
what do you see as the delivery method changing? Is it going to be different screens? You talked about 3D earlier. It didn't really go anywhere.
Right.
Is it going to be miniaturization of gear?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think right now, like, a lot of the stuff that we're headed towards is just generally having everything networked together, having a strong network backstage. Like, I can sit here on my computer, I can touch the cameras, I can adjust the RCPs for the cameras, I can switch the processors to failover for the LED wall processors, and so having like a really strong network in place, to have all the gear networked together is something that we're definitely
Everything talks to each other.
Yeah, we're definitely at. I mean,
single unit.
Yeah, I mean, Steve can sit over here and talk to your switcher down there. And it's just amazing that how we're doing that. A lot of the stuff when I started doing this wasn't networked together. It was just kind of here's your switcher, here's your sources, have fun. But now it's really, a lot of this has become network based.
Have you found producers, creators more interested in, it's still widescreen, but at least looking at different formats of presentation, if it wants to go to YouTube or iPhones or verticals?
We have that going right now. We have another show that's a couple 100-foot widescreen going on in Dallas. With landscape and portrait, mixture of all, and then different sources being, broadcasted out via YouTube or a private channel. And usually they'll pip and do whatever. It's just kind of unique on the project.
Is that driven by technology or creativity?
Both.
Yeah, I think
it's both.
Too.
I do, because then you're given more options. I think creativity is also based on your options. If you don't have a lot of options, you can't be that creative. You can be as creative as you want, but you don't have a lot of options, So yeah, we try to give people as many options as they can have.
Yeah, like during the pandemic, obviously a lot of stuff went virtual, and some elements of that have stayed with us. And so there is sometimes thought for, hey, what if somebody is watching this on their laptop from, I don't know, Buenos Aires or something? And so a lot of times we'll have shows that are kind of cut in two different ways, like one cut for the room, one cut for a broadcast. And I don't see that changing. I see that as staying part of what we do. I don't think it took off quite like we thought it would. Like, I thought after the pandemic, every show would have a web stream. And it's not really like that, but some of our customers are really interested in doing that so that they don't have to absorb the cost of bringing people into the shows. So, and still giving them a good experience too, not just seeing, camera cuts. We're trying to make that more of a pleasant experience for the remote viewer.
I had the same opinion after the pandemic, that there would be a streaming element in all the shows, because who wants to spend the millions of dollars just to bring people here and feed them and house them?
Right. So I heard a CEO from the stage say to his people, this was right after the pandemic, he said, look, it's great to have all you guys back here and I hope you're learning a lot today. He goes, but what you do in your 15-minute break is almost more important than is what is happening here. When you go outside and have coffee with your colleagues and you mingle with them and exchange ideas, he said that's where the magic for these meetings is. And so there's a definite intrinsic value in everybody being together in a space, face to face, as opposed to being on like a Zoom call, and having an exchange of ideas and making sure people get their marching orders from the bosses of the company. So I think that there's always going to be something about that, about us being together, exchanging ideas, that's going to continue and really keep this business going the way it's been going.
I have a buddy he's a very high up exec at a Fortune 200 investment firm. And during the pandemic, I would see his Zoom schedule and it was just packed. And I asked him, I said, what value do you see when you actually go to shows? And he gave me a story about how he had a new person that he brought in, blah, blah, blah. And I guess some of their paperwork wasn't going through, but he met so-and-so from Boston. And he met him at the last meeting. They went and had some beers and hung out or whatever, or coffee. Call him direct. They already have a relationship. And, we could get stuff passed through. But it was the whole relationship thing, because everything really is built on relationships. And if you don't have good relationships, things are just not going to flow like you want to flow. And I read something where, not too long ago, I shared with you, it was like in Forbes, where they talked about 30% more retention in everyone being together in meetings and the value in that. And somebody wrote a pretty cool piece about that and how everybody getting together is a really good thing, like the old breaking bread and hanging out. It's a big deal.
There is a lot to be said for FaceTime with people, face-to-face, hand-to-hand, meeting people in the hallway, talking, like you said, what happens outside the meeting.
The coffee breaks.
That's where the things come together. Where you really establish rapport with everybody, because you can't do that over a Zoom call or a virtual meeting.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys, I think we've talked about a lot of things, and I think you've brought a lot of insight to anybody who's watching this. And I just want to say, I think that 1080 Media is an excellent company run by two excellent gentlemen.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for being part of this
Pleasure.
show.
Thanks for having us.
All right.
Right on.
All right, make us look good.